Hello, Splendid Sniper here, coming at you with another figure review. Today we have got the bootleg stroke knockoff China Vision figure from the Avengers Age of Ultron and Captain America Civil War movies. Now, most knockoffs, they kind of take a base mold of a figure and then they just cheap out on the articulation so it's rubbish. These things, they've sculpted an entire line from scratch and it's just amazing. Now I don't know if this is a future Marvel Select version that's not been released and somehow the company that's making these got their hands on the molds and have manufactured themselves. I don't know. All I know is that for the price, this figure is awesome. It really is absolutely awesome. Now, you can get an entire line of these figures from the Captain America Civil War movie. There's every character on it except for Spider-Man. So you can get Vision, Iron Man, War Machine, Black Panther, Black Widow, Captain America, Hawkeye, Scarlet Witch, Bucky, Falcon, and Ant-Man in his newer costume, so his Giant Man costume. They all look generally pretty good. Now, I've only purchased Vision and Scarlet Witch. I got these two together. They came in the same packaging. They squeezed them into this tiny box. Both figures were in this box. It's crazy, isn't it? I took a picture when I opened it. So here you go. You can see what they look like. Now, I got these off of eBay and it cost me a total for both figures, including postage, £20 and 40 pence. So that's absolutely mind-blowing and amazing to me for these figures, because they're just, this Vision is awesome. Now, when I say it's awesome, it's amazing, but it's going to need some modifications straight off the bat. I can see that. And it does have quite a few problems. And we will go over them. I'm going to do a comparison with all of the Avengers. I might do just a lineup at the end, or I might do them individually. I haven't decided yet. But let's go into his faults straight away. The worst thing about this figure is his joints. Hands down, his joints. I took him out of the box and straight away he's like a Thunderbird from the leg down, you know. They're just so loose. Now, they haven't popped off of me at all, so I'm not worried about that, but they're really, really loose. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to heat them up and I'm going to put some glue or some polish in there to try and tighten up the joints, and hopefully I'll fix it. It's mainly the hips. That's about it. Everything else seems to be, it's not loose, but it seems to be okay. They're not tight either, they're not ratchet. There's no ratchet joints on this figure at all. The second thing that's worse about this figure is the paint apps. They're not 100% accurate to the movie. They're kind of doable if you don't mind, but his hands are a lot redder. They're not actually a pink, or they're like a really dark pink. I'm not too sure. I need to have another look at it. And the green on his costume is a bit more vibrant. So I'm probably going to give him a repaint if I can get around to it. But I might just settle. And then the third problem I have is his feet are massive. Like, look how long they stick out. They're really, really long. Doesn't actually look that bad on the viewfinder, but they are. I mean, that foot looks like it's an inch long by itself. And the fourth problem I've got is his cape. While the sculpting is amazing and it does look really, really nice, there's no paint ups on the back, so just a little bit of paint on the front, but it's a really, really hard plastic. So I think mine's a bit warped, so I might have to straighten it out a bit, but as it's bent forward, it kind of pushes against his weak legs, so it doesn't really help. So I don't know if I'll give him a custom cloth cape. I haven't decided on that, but yeah. Okay, so let's have a close-up look on the detail. Okay, so having a close-up look at that head sculpt. Honestly, I think the sculpt is pretty good. I do think it does look pretty good to how he looks in the movie. Again, the paint apps are off, and they haven't even painted the Infinity Gem on his forehead, which I think is a bit annoying. So I'm definitely going to have to touch that up if nothing else. His eyes are a bit caca, but they're not terrible. It's like this eye seems to be a bit looking over here, Actually, they're both kind of looking in different directions, but it's only minor and it's not that noticeable. So it's, again, something like I'm happy to deal with. Now, something I was not expecting with this kind of cheapness of a figure is the amount of sculpting in the costume. I mean, look at every line on his like biceps and the marked ridges in his actual costume, all sculpted. And then you've got the actual texture to the costume. So it's got that actual texture, which isn't painted on. That's actually sculpted. The entire figure is sculpted in that. And his gauntlets, if I just turn around to the side. Again, really, really nice sculpt. They've done an amazing job on the sculpt on this figure. Now, the back of the figure there, again, looks really, really good. Continuing up. The sculpting on that back there, look at that, just looks absolutely amazing. But look at the paint apps, it's terrible. He's got a massive thick red line on his left, but a tiny thin one on the right. That doesn't look good at all. Luckily it's hidden by the cape, and as you can see there, you've got the big old gap that goes into the chest. That's actually what the cape pegs in, and it does hold really well. I'll show you that in a minute once we've come out of the zoom. And then there's the back of his head. Have a look at the cape itself. Again, it's really nice like circuitry texture in the actual cape. It looks amazing. It really does look really, really good. I'm so blown away with how well they've done that. And then there's the other side. Again, no paint apps, unfortunately. But just blown away with that texture. Okay, so attached to the cape, as you can see, there's like a little ridge just there. And it's kind of got these little teeth where they're kind of starting to peel away on mine. And if you look in the back, there's ridge there, and I don't know if you can really see them, it's like little holes just there. I think those teeth things there are supposed to go in there, but I don't know if you need them all that much, because it just, the friction itself, it holds fine. And it looks very seamless. I really like that. I prefer that so much more than what they do with most capes, where they do kind of like a giant peg at the back. It looks ugly, and if you ever take the cape off, it just looks horrible, and it ruins the sculpt on it. Okay, size comparison time. He stands just about 6 3/4 inches tall. Reason I'm taking the cape off for this, so he stands a bit more straight upright, because he's a little bit hunched because of the cape's protrude and ripple. Marvel Legends Giant Man Wave Iron Man, and they're roughly about the same height, to be honest, so that's pretty good. Because in the movie, I watched Captain America Civil War last night, and Vision was actually taller than Tony Stark in his civvy clothes. So that does make sense that when he's in his armour, he'll be a bit taller. Next to Captain America himself. Next to Civil War War Machine. Next to the Marvel Legends 4-pack 4. And with a custom cape I put on. It's the only modification I've done to this guy. 4 is actually taller than him, which is good. Next to Black Widow. Next to Marvel Legends Falcon. Walgreens exclusive, I think it is. Or Walmart exclusive, I don't know. Next to the Marvel Legends 4-pack Hawkeye. Next to the Marvel Legends Giant Man Wave Black Panther. Next to the Ultron Wave Ant-Man. Next to the Civil War 3-pack Tom Holland Spider-Man. And next to the only other figure I have from this wave, Scarlet Witch. Next to the Walmart exclusive Hulk from the Avengers movie. Next to fellow knockoff mini Hot Toys Hulk, which I'm using as my movie Hulk right now. Next to the Giant Man Build-A-Figure. Next to the Ultron Build-A-Figure. Daddy. Russian. Hug. Okay, articulation. The head is on a ball peg, so it can just rotate round. You get very minuscule up and down on it, which is a bit frustrating, and very minuscule pivot on it as well. There's no actual movement in the neck whatsoever, which is a shame. Shoulders are on ball discs, they can go around 360 degrees, no really hindrance there. They can only go up about that much, which is somewhat limited and not ideal, but you know, it will do. Bicep rotation, so loving that. Double elbow, loving that. He's got wrist rotation of 360 degrees. diaphragm joint. Now you can't really get much rotation because of the sculpt. It hinders. You get some pivot and a little bit forward and back. I'm actually probably going to take this off and see if I can improve that. But yeah, well, there you go. So that's what you get inside there. You actually get such a weird design, and then in there you've got a ball groove. But if I trim out that and that, potentially let him go forward a lot more. No waistcoat whatsoever. Now he's got SH Figure Arts kind of hip joint, so he's got a T-cut, but there's a little hinge in there, so the actual peg goes up and down. In fact, I might be able to. There you go. So that's at its lowest, and that's at its highest. Oh. So at its lowest and at the highest. With taking full use of that, he can do a Spartan of about 90 degrees. No thigh rotation whatsoever. You can probably get a little bit on the actual ball. Double knee, no boot cut, and then I think, see if I can pop it off. Yeah, it's a peg that goes into the ankle, but you don't really get any articulation from the peg. So the only articulation you get is from the ball going into the actual foot. So you can point down that much, up that much. You can do full rotation, pivot from there to there. Not ideal. Heads up, this bit of mine is a bit crumpled because when I got it, it was actually inside the ankle. So I had to kind of wedge it out and then it got resolved. Okay, so what's our final thoughts? Would I recommend this figure? Yeah, hands down. Yeah, not even going to think about it. Does have its problems, but they're very easily fixable problems. Recommend it. It's a really good figure, and I think it's a great representation, and it's easily fudgeable into your Marvel Legends Avengers. So pick it up if you want a vision. Simple as. I can't recommend it enough. Anyway, guys, that is my review. I hope you liked it. I hope you liked my little display here of my Marvel Cinematic Universe Avenger figures. Gotta say, loving this. I just wish I had someone to display them like this, because come on, how awesome does that look? Yeah, I hope you did like this review. If you did, please drop me a like down below, comment and subscribe. And you know the routine, guys. I'm going to catch you in my next one. Stay tuned for the lady over here in red. Great, now I've got a song stuck in my head. Anyway, see you guys.